Sad in Houston, but down in Atlanta. Shout out to my guy, Jeff. You see it? They're enjoying this in Atlanta. Doug Glanville joins us now. And Doug, look, I don't want to belabor where Atlanta was, but it feels impossible not to begin with where they were. And I get that there was a path to the postseason because the National League East was there to be had. But if we go back to the moves Anthopoulos makes and how all of these pieces fit together, what explains it?
Well, it explains by how Anthopoulos, their general manager, had a vision. And the vision was based on players that had had previous success, like a Jorge Soler, home run title, and also players that were injured and coming back that would time out really well once they hit their stride. And the division was wide open. The Phillies and Mets didn't take it, and they had an opportunity. And you go back to a period even earlier than that they were not able to get away from being 500 for 3 weeks in a row. They'd win one, lose one, win one, lose one, win one. They just, how did this happen? But they always had the talent. And when they made those moves, they made it when Acuna Jr. went down.
Right.
And that was a big statement to make those moves right away, to say we're still in it. And I'll tell you that those guys then played their best baseball and contributed offensively, defensively, and in the clubhouse.
To take a lead in a closeout game is big on the road, but to do so the way Soler did with that at-bat and to have it be such a dramatic and emphatic blast, does that make, is it worse when it's like that? And it's not a bloop single, right? Like, you know what I'm saying? It's a 3-run bomb. Like, is it even more impactful because of what it looked like and sounded like?
Yeah, well, first of all, it landed in Dallas, so that always, creates a buzz
really
there.
It really did.
But, I mean, over the train tracks, but Soler has that kind of pop. And they brought him to be that impact. This is a home run title winner in the American League with the Royals. He has that capability of not only hitting the home run, but making a statement with it. And he had big home runs throughout, pinch hit home run. And that's why they brought him in. But, you look at Duvall, another guy they brought in, he won the RBI title. So, these are not just sort of fringe players. These are guys that are scouted, understood that they have an upside, and they just have to refer to some of their great experiences and also production from their past, and they did that.
Players play across all sports, but whether it's a coach or a manager, you got to push buttons. And Snitker, look, Martin gets hurt. You got to figure some stuff out. Talked about it with Tim Kirkjian the other night. They had to cobble some things together, and which in those last 2 games in Atlanta, which allowed them to have their best here in Houston. What do you make of the job he did in taking the talent that Anthopoulos went out and got, putting it all together, and then how he managed throughout the postseason?
Those acquisitions only mean something when you have someone who knows how to use the talent and execute. And so Snitker deserves a lot of credit for that. Not only just those pieces and staying the course because they were still struggling, but they finally figured it out in August. But also in the postseason, you saw his ability to just adjust on the fly. You lose a frontline starter, and you're able to figure out how to stretch the bullpen. Max Fried, who pitched phenomenally tonight, pitched well enough to get him 6 innings in the previous start when he really struggled. But eating up those innings was a great strategy. He found the ability to go deeper, and it set up the bullpen well with the day off going to Houston. So they still had a lot of arms in the pen, even if they had to go to Game 7. So he was set up really well, and that was no accident. He understood how to use his personnel.
You win the World Series, I presume, who cares who you go through? But when history looks back on this Atlanta team and you look at a division winner in Milwaukee, 6-game winner in the Dodgers, and then a division winner in Houston, how do you best describe the path that this Braves team sort of went through?
Exclamation point. Absolutely. I mean, they did the hard road. The Brewers had the best rotation, the best closer in baseball. They knocked them off. The Dodgers, who were a wild card team with 106 wins, right, who are definitely had the payroll of the century, they knocked them off. And the Astros, who outscored everybody, just plastered teams all season long with a potent offense, number 1 in runs scored per game, and also number 1 in batting average. I mean, this team, and they didn't strike out. I mean, that was a phenomenal offensive team that they shut down in those winning games. So there's nothing to say. The Braves, although had the lowest amount of wins going into the postseason, They were absolutely outstanding. They beat the best they could beat.
And this is where Tim Kurkjian would say, this is why baseball's the best, because it can't happen, and then it does. And we'll talk to Tim Kurkjian here in a minute. Doug, thanks so much for your time. As always, we appreciate you. Enjoy whatever you do between now and the next time I see you. Stay healthy, all right? Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.